penalty charge notice and a parking charge notice might look the same, but in reality they're very different. A penalty charge notice is issued by the council or Transport for London, and this is a ticket that you can't ignore. You've got two options when you receive it. You either pay or appeal. Whatever you choose, it's best to act quickly, because this way, if your appeal is rejected, you might still be able to pay the discounted amount. If you do decide to ignore a penalty charge notice, it can escalate quite quickly. The council are well within their rights to give you a court order, unfortunately, and send for a bailiff payment, and that's why it's really important not to ignore it. If you do decide that you want to appeal, the trick is being able to prove that you shouldn't have to pay. If the signs weren't clear, then take plenty of photos. If you paid for a ticket and you were with the time frame, then send a copy. Or maybe you had an accident that stopped you getting back to your car. Get all those documents that you've got and then send copies of them. There's no guarantee it will get overturned, but it's worth giving it a go as soon as you can. You should be able to make your appeal on the council's website. You can receive a penalty charge notice in several ways. It can be handed to you by a civil enforcement officer, left on your vehicle's windshield, or it could be sent to you through the post. If you get a PCN by post, you may have been caught on CCTV, or you might have ignored a civil enforcement officer. The council will get your address from the DVLA and then send the notice to you, so driving away from an enforcement officer unfortunately won't help. So why are parking charge notices so different? Well, it's because they're issued by car park operators and they're seen like more of an invoice than a fine. The rules on these tickets are different because they're not enforceable by law. When you park in a private land car park, you're agreeing to their terms and conditions, which are normally displayed on the signs. This is why you get a ticket if they feel that you've breached these conditions. Even though you can't get a court order immediately, it doesn't mean that you should ignore it. Again, even with this type of parking fine, your best bet is to pay or appeal if you do believe that it's wrong. So what are the consequences if you do ignore a parking charge notice? Well, at first they might send you multiple letters, then you might be threatened with court action, and eventually they might sell it to debt collectors. It's because it's seen as more of an invoice, it's like an unpaid debt. The price then normally hikes up to around 160 quid. If either the debt collector or car park operating company want to, they could then take it to court. If they win, then you might have to pay your ticket and the court fees. If you do decide to appeal this ticket and it gets rejected, you can escalate it to either Poplar or the BPA. This is the last level of appeal, so if it gets dismissed, you'll have to make a decision whether you want to pay it or sit it out to see if it goes to court. Again, it could go either way if it goes to court. If you're successful, you might get away without paying the fine, but you may have to pay out more money if it doesn't go your way. With this in mind, it's important to keep a record of all your appeals. Screenshot them and keep a trace just so that the car park operator can't say that they haven't received anything. On that note, always ask for proof that you've committed an alleged driving offence so that you know that they're not trying their luck. So the basic rules are to pay or appeal a fine as soon as you get it. Act quickly so that if your appeal's rejected, you've still got the chance of paying the discounted rate. And remember that penalty charge notices are enforceable immediately, whereas parking charge notices aren't unless they take you to court and win. If you're wondering if you do have a strong case to appeal, then you might want to run it by online solicitors JustAnswer. They offer a trial for £5 where you can ask a professional as many questions as you want about your penalty charge notice. I'll leave a link below the video for you, and if you use it, you'll be supporting the Debt Advice Service, so thanks.